Hello, good evening, everyone. This is Harshita here. First of all, I welcome all of you to this session on Women Engineers program offered by Talent Sprint and supported by Google. I guess most of you are excited about being here, just like I am. So, before we begin, I would like to congratulate all of you for making it till here. Do you all know this year we have received 27,000 plus applications for the cohort 3 of the program, and each one of you have succeeded in such a tough competition. We are proud of each one of you. Congratulations again. Now you're almost there. You're just one step away from making it to the prestigious program, Women Engineers, a life changing program for all the young women out there who would want to make their mark in the tech world. In today's session, Women Engineers, Your Next Orbit, you will learn about Talent Sprint and Google's vision of this program, hear from the senior leaders, and learn from students themselves on how the Women Engineers program has transformed their lives. We would like to respect everyone's valuable time during this session and would encourage all of you to ask your questions through our help desk post this session. As many of us know, Talent Sprint is a leading edtech company focusing on deep tech education for emerging and experienced professionals. We are a national stock exchange group company and are privileged to be the only company to partner with ISC, top IIMs, IITs, triple ITs, and global corporations, including Google and Pega. Now let's invite Dr. Shantanu Paul, founder and chief executive officer at Talent Sprint. Shantanu shall now deliver the keynote by throwing some light on why the Women Engineers program is a life-changing program and how it has positively impacted lives significantly. Welcome, Shantanu. I request you to take it from here.
Thank you so much, Harshita. Appreciate the introduction. Nicely done. So, dear students, it's a lovely privilege to have you all here on a Sunday. And thank you for making the time. It is a great pleasure for all of us at Talent Sprint, along with all our friends at Google, to present to you the WE program in its cohort 3, in which all of you have come to practically the last step before you get, hopefully accepted to the program. At least many of you will get accepted to the program. So let me start off by telling you a little story, which many of you may or may not be aware of. In the early days of software industry, and especially the early days of computing, women were the leaders in computing worldwide. In fact, Ada Lovelace, who's the daughter of Lord Byron, the famous English poet, some of you may have heard of Lord Byron. Ada Lovelace was considered to be the first programmer in the world, and that was back a few hundred years ago, because she worked with Charles Babbage, who is famous for creating the analytical engine and differential engine. And Ada Lovelace was the first person to actually understand and explain how to write pseudocode, how to write algorithms, and also was the first person to predict that some days computers will be used not just for calculations, but also producing music, for producing text, for writing books, and so forth. And all of the things we see today, we use computers for. She had visualized this quite a long time ago, quite a few hundred years ago. So naturally, she is considered to be the queen of programming, the first woman, first computer programmer in the world. Not just the woman programmer, the first programmer herself, and of course the Ada programming language is named after her. In more modern times, Grace Hopper, who's an admiral in the US Navy, was the first person to be considered to be a software test engineer. In fact, the word software bug, B-U-G bug, comes from Grace Hopper, who was able to discover that as actually an insect, a moth had got stuck in the vacuum tubes, and therefore, the first set of computers were getting stuck and having, defects because this moth had got stuck in the vacuum tube. And therefore, she called it a bug because that thing was actually a bug. And that's how the word bug came into existence. And of course, today we know that the word test engineers are specialists who find bugs and eliminate bugs, right? So if you look at this history, women have always had a predominant position in computing in the early days. But of course, as time has gone on, the women have kind of fallen behind in the whole field of computing. Men have taken over, partly because men realized at some point that this was a very well-paying profession, very intellectually stimulating profession, and slowly they got more aggressive. And over time, men got ahead. Today, as you can see in this slide, less than 1 in 4 professionals in the whole world of computing is a woman, and that is a challenge that we want to overcome. So when Talent Sprint and Google got together in 2018 September to talk about this problem, Google and Talent Sprint had this great agreement that we should build this amazing program in India called Women Engineers, which Talent Sprint would actually execute and Google would support through scholarships and other means, which would allow young women, especially first year, second year students, computer science students all across India who are women, to get a special access to a special program that would make them globally competitive, which would be a far more interesting program in terms of learning programming and computing compared to what academic education can provide us. Your academics are, of course, very important. Your marks are very important. But having said that, to learn to become a world-class programmer is a great advantage. And today, worldwide, companies just love young women engineers who become such highly competitive programmers. And as I'll show you in the next few slides, that's what's been happening for the first two cohorts that have gone before you. So one interesting point I wanted to make before that was that this is a program that, many of you may have just heard of the word we, women engineers, but I'm happy to report to you that there are lots of interesting people, both at Google and TalentSprint, who are really committed to this program and giving it a huge amount of their personal time and interest. I'll spend some time going back and forth. Of course, you were just talking to me now. Shantanu, I'm the co-founder and CEO of TalentSprint. My good friend Shivkumar Venkatraman to the right, who's the VP and head of engineering at Google AdWords, is one of the leaders in Google engineering. Shiv and I were classmates in IIT, so we have a long history of working together. Then we have Gurpreet Bhatia, who's the head of this program. She's a very accomplished leader, has worked at Honeywell and Intel before TalentSprint. Of course, we have Sujata from Google, who is VP of Engineering, a distinguished engineer of Google, which is a very prestigious position. And she is the lead mentor for this program for we. And she would personally be involved in handling many sessions, interactions with many of you who are going to get into this program. We have Devjani Mukherjee from TalentSprint, who was earlier with Microsoft, now heads partnerships for us. We have Hina Raval from Google Engineering of India. She is the director of corporate engineering program. Her team is one of the major teams in India today, expanding and trying to add more women engineers into their organization in Google. We have Ashokan Pichai, who you will interact with shortly. Some of you may have heard of him. He's the dean of this program and in some sense widely popular. And of course, somebody seen as a mentor and leader by all students of V and of course beyond V. He's one of those great instructors of programming and a world-renowned expert on Python. Anuradha Arora from Google India, she's the head of recruitment. And she is one of the people that will interact often with participants in this program because she is the talent finder for Google India. Anshul Yadav, senior faculty at TalentSprint, important mentor for V, does a lot of hands-on work with V students, making them world-class programmers. He himself is from Amazon, and before that, Triple IT. So as you can imagine, he has a blue-chip background himself. Dawn Quincy, who is the program manager on the other end in the US, she has been instrumental in helping us set up this program and is a great, great mentor for many students. And she spends a lot of time talking to students, and she's also based in the Silicon Valley. Spurti Reddy, who of course is program manager from TalentSprint on this, a very popular person and has a long history of good program work that she's done at LinkedIn, at Google, and also at Microsoft. And of course, we have Surabhi Sharma, who is the program lead for Google India on this program. So you can see that there are at least a good number of 12 people here who are going to surround you in this whole journey as we go forward. It's not just that you hear the word Google and you hear TalentSprint. It's a lot more than that. There are very accomplished, very senior, very seasoned people who will provide hands-on guidance, training, support, mentoring, all the way through for this entire program. So your networking opportunity to meet great people is also extremely high. Now, getting into a little bit of a thank you mode for me personally, because this program, as I said, was conceived in 2018, launched for the first time in 2019 in cohort 1. So if you see the orange band at the very top, that was the 2019 batch. And at that time, we got 7,276 applications across 2,000 different PIN codes of the country, across 600 plus colleges and 83 universities. And we were so impressed. We said, wow, we couldn't believe that for the first 100 odd seats, we had so much interest. And that was, of course, that time there was nobody who knew about this program. The first batch is always the most interesting because early adopters adopt it and they take the risk. And the students who took the risk, as I'll show you shortly, have had great success. Cohort 2 started in 2020. In the middle of course, the pandemic, it became a little difficult to manage some of the boot camps. So everything went online very, very fast. But nevertheless, we still got 15,000 applications, which is almost double that of the first cohort. And this time, as you can see, the number of PIN codes also doubled, the number of colleges also doubled, and of course, number of universities almost went triple compared to the first cohort. So clearly that demonstrated that with every passing round, the program has got more attention, more interest, and people have begun to see the results of the program, and they're extremely impressed with what is happening. So most students are applying every year. And now it comes to you, cohort 3. We are still to form the cohort, but very interestingly, we have almost another doubling of interested applicants. So we have 27,643, as Harshita said in the beginning. which is an astounding number, 5,800 plus PIN codes, 2,800 plus colleges, and now all of a sudden across 420 universities. So with every passing year, this is a galloping program. It's getting bigger, it's getting better, and it's getting more and more interesting and aspirational for students to join. So I'm very, very confident that cohort 3 will in some ways exceed all the things that cohort 1 and 2 have done. And let me show you now what cohort 1 and 2 have already done. Now, cohort 1 participants who began in 2019 have now begun to graduate from this program. And as you can see, all of them, the first 100 people, all of them got amazing offers across 50 plus global companies. Their compensation was, almost 2.5 times that what you would get normally in, campus recruitment. And of course, the top salary went to a student who got 38 lakhs of, CTC, which, as you can imagine, is a very large number for a young student. Fresh graduate. And the kind of companies which recruited this talent from cohort 1, I don't think I have to tell you how great these companies are. Google, Amazon, Adobe, Microsoft, Cisco, Goldman Sachs, Oracle, Flipkart, Gojek, MathWorks. And as you can read through the whole thing of Samsung, ServiceNow, American Express, HSBC, Shell, Hyundai, S&P Global, Deloitte, Juspay, and many, many more. And some of the students I'd like to highlight here from the first cohort, it literally took the industry by storm. I mean, Radhika Agarwal went to Google, Sushma went to Flipkart, Vaishnavi went to Microsoft, Sajal went to Juspay, Harshita had a bunch of offers, and Yashi went to Gojek. So these are some of the stars of the first cohort. And I can start telling you before, when these people joined the program, they joined entirely on faith. They did not know what the results would be. They took the trouble to apply. They took the trouble to go through the whole selection process as you are going through now. And hopefully some of them will be speaking with you shortly in the remainder of the session. And you can therefore hear their perspectives as Ashokan speaks with each of them. And they really set the benchmark as an amazing benchmark for people to follow. And in the first cohort, as you can imagine, we were also learning. Google was learning, Transport was learning how to do it well. With cohort 2, it became even better. I mean, our delivery became better, our program became better. And the huge, I would say the big news this year for cohort 2, which is still in the early days. Cohort 2 started in 2020. They barely finished 1 year of training, not even yet. And yet from that 125 people who are in cohort 2, we have 20 people who got Google STEP internships, which is a very, very prestigious internship, very hard to get. And when you have 20 out of 125 people getting into Google internships, you can only imagine how this program has made such a big difference to the lives of such young women across. And these are all people just 1 year your seniors. They're not people with some extraordinary great history, or it's not like they've gone to some great college. They're all people from colleges like yourselves, students like yourselves, families like yourselves. And just a year into the program, they're cracking into some of the most prestigious internships like the Google STEP internship. So that itself is another great thing that has happened. And of course, this cohort, when they graduate next year, I'm sure they will do even better than cohort 1, as is the nature of these things. And I'm sure they will set an even higher benchmark compared to cohort 1. So that brings us back to all of you, which is cohort 3. And you are, like Harshita pointed out earlier, you are just one step away from that magic potential to join this program. As I have said before, 27,643 applications came in over the last 1 month. We shortlisted from that through a process of selection, as many of you have written exams of various kinds and aptitude and other things. And I'm sure all of you found those tests somewhat challenging, but also perhaps very exciting that this is the gateway to this program. And now with 3,800 students who are in that stage, we hope and believe that from you, the 500 that are the current size of this cohort, of cohort 3, will be selected. And I'm sure in your mind, many of you carry fears and anxieties and concerns that, how can I make it? Well, the good news is that you made it from 27,000 to 3,000, right? So that already have shown that you're one among 9 or one among 8 people who can actually crack this selection process. So if you can be one among 8, from here, 500 out of 3,800 is again, probably another one among 8. So, in some sense, you have come a long way in the last 1 month through applying, through sticking with the rigor of this selection process. And I encourage you to listen to all the participants after this, and I'm sure you'll be convinced that if you just hang in there for a couple more weeks and work really hard, 500 of you will really make it to that magic place called cohort 3. And from that point on, your entire lives will change. I can assure you that, as you've seen for the previous cohorts. And I'm very hopeful and optimistic that all of you who get selected to this program, join the program, will find yourself in a different league altogether. When you graduate, you will be among the stars of the industry, and companies will recruit you with a very high degree of interest compared to any other people who are not in this program. So with that, I will stop and I will hand it over to my colleague Ashokan, who will then take it forward and talk to the students and give you a whole lot of new insight and a whole lot of new information the students will share with you, and Ashokan also will share with you. So thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing 500 of you in the weeks ahead as you get to this, and I'm sure I'll be there to welcome you guys to the program and the beginning of cohort 3 when it officially launches. So thank you so much, and look forward to the rest. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shantanu, for sharing Talent Sprint and Google's vision on Women Engineers program and how it has made so many students successful already. Now I invite Mr. Ashokan Pichai, our Chief Learning and Development Officer and the Dean for Women Engineers program. Ashokan has over 40 years of experience in software development, training young professionals and shaping L&D strategies across organizations. He has been recognized by CHRO Asia as one of the top 50 training and development professionals in India. Ashokan is here along with us with few women engineers alumni and students to take us through their journey in Women Engineers program. Welcome, Ashokan. I would request you to take it from here.
Thank you, Harshita, and a very warm welcome to all you participants in the coming cohort. And hello to all my friends, students from the previous batch. If I had a lot of time, I'll go around introducing each one of them, how much they have done, how much they have achieved. But then this particular webinar will take a lot more time to complete. So I will stay off that very tempting idea of showing to you how much this program has achieved through there. But you will hear them shortly. To repeat, I am the dean and the primary faculty in the early stages of this program. So I want to spend the next few minutes chatting with your previous students in this to help us all share with you what is it we have done in the program, what is it they have done in the program, and what is it look forward. Before getting started, I want to highlight one thing. How are we going to be selected? I'm sure all of you are saying, forget all this. I know people have done this, people have got a job here, there, but tell us, how will you select? Very, very simple. We look to check, can you learn? Given an opportunity and given a proper guidance, can you learn? If you can learn, you will get through to the next stage. This is exactly what I do. That is, I don't want to say teach, help people learn how to learn. That is something that will stand with you lifelong. And that is the first part of the program in a sense. It also happens to be the part of the next stage of the selection process. But in my mind and in our mind, in both Talent Sprint and Google, a program really starts here, where we help you learn how to learn. And then we assess and select the best 500 people out of that. Okay. With that, let me start by asking my students. Hi, everybody, once again, who are all there? We have Monica, Riha, Sanjana, Sejal, Harshita, and Shruti. Okay, great. The format would be, I would ask a question which relates to your experience. I would like to hear from at least 3 of you. If time permits, more of you. Whatever resonates with you most, the question and the answer, please volunteer to answer. You know what to do if you talk over each other. We have done this so many times in class. Okay, all right. The first thing I want to ask all of you is, how much has this program changed you? What has this program helped you to achieve?
Okay, so I would like to go first. So the first thing that I learned from this program, the first thing that this program has changed in me is my mentality. So before this program, I always used to think that, can I do this? Can I do that? But now I confidently say this to myself that I can do this. I can do that. So this program has made me more confident and encouraged me to have more faith in myself and dedicate my whole energy into the right direction to get whatever I want to achieve out there. So this is what this program has done to me.
Just add a sentence about what you're doing right now.
So currently, I'm in my final year. I'm pursuing BTech from Sri Govindram Seksaria Institute of Technology and Science, and I've already received two offers, one from Microsoft and another from Goldman Sachs.
Wonderful. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Okay.
So I would like to go next, Ashokan. So I did my BTech in computer science from Vasvi College of Engineering, Hyderabad, and currently I'm working as an application developer in Oracle. So I would say the program really helped me to bridge the gap between my college life and my professional life. I got to learn how to learn any new technology very fast, and this was what was really stressed by Ashokan and the whole program. That once we enter into the industry, it is not that they focus on one particular language at all. We need to learn their own internal tools very fast, and coding standards, version controls, documentation, presentation. Apart from just coding, these all things really matter, and that's how make us a complete engineer. And these are usually not taught in colleges, but this is what was focused more on in our V program. And when compared to my colleagues, when I joined into my internship and my full time, I was able to progress much faster. I was able to develop more modules and progress very quickly when compared to others. And also, this program made me dream higher. I was always limited by the people around me in my college. Let's say the highest package in any particular college is say maybe 5 lakhs. We all think, okay, let's get that highest package and that will be enough. We limit ourselves with that package itself. But this program made everyone realize that we shouldn't be limited to just for people around us or in our college or just by the package. They gave us great mentors. This gave me a wonderful community and basically awareness about a lot of opportunities around us. Had it not been for this program, I wouldn't know what my true worth was, but now I know what I'm truly capable of.
Thank you. And it's no surprise you are one of the first to learn the new things. If I remember right, you're the first to finish your project too. So yeah. Yes, who would like to go next?
I'd like to say something.
Yes, Sanjay.
So I think there's a lot of questions that I'm always looking for the answers to. And these questions are, what do I like? What do I not like? What works for me? What's my style? What makes me unique from everyone else? And how far can I go? Where's my limit? And these questions can only be answered through experience. And I think this program gave me a good place to start. It gave me a starting place. Now I'll have to take it forward from here, but that was important.
Thank you. All the best. Let me ask you this, because some people even during the program have said this, some outside people have asked me this question when they talk about what I do. Aren't your colleges supposed to help you do all of this? Harshita, I did refer to this is not taught in your college, but I want to focus on that. Doesn't your college education equip you to do this? So, or what is another way of asking, what does this program bring to you?
I'd like to answer this. I'm a computer science graduate from Gayatri Vidya Parishad College of Engineering for Women, and I've learned programming back in college. I joined a cohort when my 4th year was starting, and I immediately realized that the corporate world, the tech world, our career is much more than lectures and textbooks. It's important that we transition from a student to a professional. It's not just reading up about concepts and just writing them, but also innovating new ideas and applying what we learn. And this program also helped me to learn new things, new technologies immediately. I mean, I wouldn't think about a second if I have to learn a new tech stack or if I have to build a new skill, because that is what I learned. I know how to learn, and that is important.
Just a word about what you're doing currently.
I'm a software developer in IIIT Hyderabad under one of the most renowned professors, Professor Anup Nambudri, and I work in biometrics.
Okay, that's a very small word about they are trying to build the next generation biometric system. So you'll probably see Monica's name in a lot of patents in a few years from now. Okay. Who else would like to add something?
Yeah, I would like to go ahead.
Yes, sir.
I am a 2020 graduate from GL University, and right now I'm a software engineer at RCGM. So how we program is different from college because college has a well-defined curriculum and they are expected to prepare us for just getting placed, be it any company or be it any package. But what we is different about, we prepares you actually how to work in a corporate world, so it gives you a touch of corporate word also, along with moving ahead with what is necessary as a plus one definitely to Harshita. I've been working from past 2 years, so really if you just join the company, you'll be really shocked to know that as Ashokan used to say, to write a single line of code you will have to be reading thousands and thousands of lines of code. So yes, if you are a part of V program, then these all things are not going to be new for you, because you will already be equipped by all these things, like be it documentation, be it version control. We gives you everything, more or less. I should say that we prepares you exactly how to get started. Whenever you start something new, you have that fear inside you that you need a source of inspiration, you need someone to guide yourself. So we is going to be that mentor for you and to getting started with corporate world, which college doesn't prepare you.
Thank you, Sajal. And your journey to Arcesia.
So I was before RCGM, I have done a year-long internship at JustPay, and JustPay being one of the fintech startups and with a very different tech stack. So just before joining JustPay intern, I was part of a month-long bootcamp. So I'm really glad that bootcamp happened before JustPay internship, because I remember an anecdote where I was about to I was given a task to write a single line of code, but it took me entire week to figure out where to do the change. And but V program actually taught me that yes, and Haskell, I was to work on Haskell, which is very new and which is difficult also. So we actually gave us that one very important tool of how to learn. As Monica said, that yes, we all who are a part of V program actually know how to learn. So then nothing is difficult for us, be it anything.
I still don't agree with the Haskell is difficult part. We'll have the discussion.
Sure.
Yeah. Riha, want to say something or respond to a later question?
Yeah, I'll go. So this is Riha Kaushal. I'm from MATE, Maharaja Agrestin Institute of Technology. That's from GGS IPO University. So like college curriculum is same for like so many students. It's the same base that you all have to go through, but V program makes you different. So starting with V, like program started for me like a learning journey. Like the first 2 weeks for self-learning, that itself gave me motivation to start my like fully motivated career, like coding career. So that's where I started learning. And in this program, I got to know how to learn. So after getting selected, we unlearned what we had learned, and then we started relearning everything. So yeah, so this V program will like train you in each and every aspect to be a success professional.
Thank you, Riha. Okay, now I want to ask you something which is one of my bugbears, something that makes me feel bad for many people. Many students drop out of even attempting new things because they are worried it will be too tough, I may not be able to do it, so they don't even attempt it. Some of you would have faced it yourself when you were sitting for the V entrance. Some of you might have been confident and not faced it yourself, but might have had friends who felt that way, who shared it with you during the selection phase or later during the class. So to repeat, I want to address this. How difficult it is to get into the program. What should one do to get into the program? Since this is a very important question for everybody, I would love if each one of you could share your perspective. And I also want, like I said, whether you were, what was your feeling? What did you feel when you first started the selection process? You all told us in nice, glorious detail how you feel now at the end. But cast your mind back to before you got selected and in the selection process. How did you feel? How did it, what did you do to get to? Who would like to go?
So,
Okay, go ahead, Shruti.
okay. So as I said that before joining this program, my mindset was always like, can I do this or not? So I was from a third tier college, and before joining the program, my skill set was limited to some basic knowledge of the data structures. So obviously, like everyone else, I never thought that I would be able to be enrolled in this program. But at that point of time, I joined this program. I entered the program because I wanted to know where do I stand among other national women engineers. I wanted to know what my capability is and where do I stand. And apart from that, what else is out there for me to explore. So this curiosity of me bring me to the to apply for the program. And also like when I joined the program, I gone through the entire selection process. I realized it has nothing to do with what college I am from, what background knowledge do I have. It has nothing to do with that. The only criteria that matters for the selection is how you think, how determined you are to learn new things, and how your abilities to learn new things and adapt yourself to different challenges. So I think this was the main focus for the selection criteria, and it has nothing to do with my background or anything else. So I would suggest like for all the participants who are this year going to enroll for this, it really doesn't matter what you know, what you have. Only thing that matters is how determined you are to use the resources that has been provided to you and use this opportunity to bring out the best out of yourself. So that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Shruti. It's a little difficult for me to believe today that you doubted yourself beforehand, but then thanks.
So before I applied, when I read about the program on the website, I did not completely believe that they wanted students and they wanted to help students learn by themselves with certain scholarship amount. Because why does any company want to do that when they are not the company's employees? I didn't believe that. And when I saw Google being from a non-premier institute, I was also doubting whether I'm capable of entering the program or not, but I didn't want to leave any regrets and I applied anyway. And I gave my best in the exam and then I got selected. But the important thing is that even though I doubted how the training would be, whether will I be ranked upon or judged by my skills that I had back then, but the whole training, the whole program was completely focused on helping me learn how to learn. I I I this program has been a milestone, and I can really proudly say that if you know how to learn, and that is the most important asset a computer science engineer can have. So if you want to apply it, you applied it, you are here. It's just one more stage, and all you have to do is learn. What are you scared of? You have 4 more years, and you just make the best out of this program. Have fun and learn.
Thank you, Monica.
So
Yeah, I would like.
Yes, Riha, go ahead.
Very good. Go ahead. Okay, so when I started with this program, so it had name Google associated with it. So yeah, I myself can't believe like I could get into a program like this. I am a PCBM student. I had no coding background before like even applying to this. I was just exploring all the technologies and not even started learning one of those. And this program I gave the first round, and I thought I won't be able to make it. But after being able to clear that first round, among my peers who had the coding background, I I I was determined now that I could like make it through. Then that's when I gave my 100%, and that's what I would suggest all of you, that to give your 100% so that you don't have any regrets later on. That leave the results for the like leave the results. You don't have to think that you would be able to get selected or not. You just have to give your 100% and try your best.
Thank you, Riha. Yes, Sanjana. I think you are who was Overlapping.
Yes.
Sajal, yes, Sajal,
Yes.
go ahead. Sorry.
Yes. So
I think it's one of the few times Sajal has been beaten to the punch. Normally, she's the first to talk.
yes, so it was Ria this time, so I thought let's give her a chance. We have been speaking from a long time, yeah. So to just to like briefly say what you need to be to crack this program is psychologically you need a will to do something. If you want just to be like a normal girl, do a college, then maybe get into a job or not, then I'll say that okay, just live your normal life. But if you want to do something, be it anything, be it a high-end job, be if you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to work in a startup, you want to go in management, be it any career. If you want to do really something big, then let's go ahead with this program, and then it will change your life. You will realize in the end. And technically, what you need is technically, as we all said, you just need a will to learn. That's all, because this program does not judges you on the basis of your coding skills, on your programming skills, because it is always giving you that time period of 2 weeks to actually learn, grasp. It just checks whether you have that will to learn or not. So I think it is very easy to crack this program if you have that will, psychologically, technically. Else, yeah, that's it.
Thank you. I still don't think of it as cracking the exam, but it's okay. I'll let that pass. Yeah, who wants to go next?
I'll go, Ashwin. So
Yes, sir.
I remember during my time when I applied, and even few of my friends. So this was a national wide, what you say, an exam to get in. So I was just limited to my college and I knew about them, but I was a little bit afraid because there were people around the country who were applying and I don't know how will they perform, and if I get selected, how will I perform and all that. But and that happens for any exam. We're always thinking about what will we do when we go there, how will we perform over there, and once we get selected, how will we manage and all that. But I would say, first of all, given these 2 weeks, take this time to really focus on the task, focus on the learning and the exam rather than thinking about what will happen if you get selected. First get selected, then we can think about that, because that's a mistake I think most of us usually do. I'm included in that. So do not think much. Take these 2 weeks. This is a golden opportunity to, because you're not asked to learn a particular language. They are saying take any language you want, and they're not testing you on a particular language, but how you're learning in these 2 weeks. So I would say this is a very good thing, and you need not have any prior knowledge. So just go for the task. Do not think too much.
Did you? It's really difficult sometimes to not to chuckle at the wisdom you people have developed. I can still remember Harshita wondering how what can I do to do more? What should I do? Now then slowly that serenity stepped in. I'm very happy to see you there. I really feel happy. Yes, Sanjana.
So I personally did not really experience this, but I witnessed this. In my college, the two eligible departments for cohort 2 were CS and IT. And there are 16 girls in CS and about 17 girls in IT. Out of all of us, only 5 applied for the program.
Okay.
And I was very surprised because one of our seniors is actually in cohort 1, Diksha. So I asked all of these girls, why didn't you apply? And they said that they were sure they would not get in, and because it's Google and they're not good enough. But I just wanted to say that if you don't apply, you are definitely not getting in. So at least if you apply, there is a chance that you might get in. So please take that chance.
Thank you very much, people. I just want to summarize what we plan to do and how we plan to run the next stage of the process. What we are expecting to do is to judge how you can learn by giving you an opportunity to learn. The exact details of that you will get by mail, but let me assure you, my job is to not reject people, not even to select people. My job is to help you start learning. My job, and that's what I believe I do pretty well, I love doing that too, is to make you all feel, you know what, learning is such a overcomplicated thing by everybody else. It's actually simple. And coding is something that's enjoyable. I consider it as a great privilege to have been a trainer for a large number of wonderful students A large number of them are women, and the biggest feeling of happiness and pride comes when one of your students says, Ashokan, look at this piece of beautiful code. Or I cannot stand to see bad code anymore, Ashokan. When they say that, you know what? Yesterday we were talking with a colleague or we were attending another program and the person wrote some code which is terrible. I can't stand it anymore. Then as a teacher, I feel, okay, I have done my job. My students have learned what it is to appreciate good code, enjoy writing good code. The converse of it is you started saying, why the heck is he or she writing such bad code? Now that from people from any background, it doesn't matter what college you are from. You may be from the best of colleges, you may be from the most small town of colleges, but the program promises you that we will make you fantastic coders. Why? That's the first essential for a great tech career. Doesn't matter where you come from. Something Shruti repeatedly made up very beautifully. It doesn't matter who you are, what college, what background you are from. Determination and the willingness to go the path of what we teach you how to learn. The ideal outcome for both of us is you enjoy the coding process, you enjoy the learning process, and you become a fantastic coder. There is a lot more than coding involved, but those can wait. They will be taught and discussed at the appropriate point of time. But let me stop here by reassuring you the next stage is not a selection stage or a rejection stage. It's a learning stage where we from Talent Sprint help you how to learn so that it stands you in good stead, whatever you go on to do. All the very best to all of you. And thank you very much, my dear students. Hope to see you all soon. Bye. Over to you, Harshita.
Well, that has been a very engaging and insightful session, isn't it? Thank you, Ashokan, for all of you for your amazing insights over the program. And also, you have made it clear to us that not only the previous college students, but everybody has opportunity to make it big. Wow, I wish I had this opportunity while I was in college. As Ashokan mentioned, the next step is 2 exciting weeks of learning to learn, to practice and guidance. You will be receiving the next steps via email with all the details. For any questions and clarifications, please contact us through email or call us as displayed on the screen. So thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed the session and we look forward to seeing all of you over the next 2 weeks. All the best and have fun learning. Have a great evening. Thank you. It's Harshita signing off.